Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Alicia Amazon, and today I'm going to be talking about something I never in a million years thought I would be speaking on, which is my secrets to how to get a tiny waist. So, just for the record, a lot of women approach me in the gym and they're like, oh, let me guess, you've always been tiny or you've always had a small frame. And I'm like, no, let me show you these pictures real quick. And I just think that's hysterical because my entire life I struggled with my weight, but generally I've always struggled with having the waistline that I was comfortable with. So even during my teenage years where I was probably relatively small, like maybe around 15 or 16, I still didn't have like a flat stomach. I still had a little gut, a little pouch or something like that. So now I'm at a point where it's like I see abs, ribs, whatever. So it's like just shocking that I got to this point. And I hope that if you're a person like me who's always struggled to have that waistline that of your dreams, that you clicked on this video, because sis, it took some time. It took a lot of hard work and dedication, but you can definitely achieve a tiny waist as well if that's something you're seeking. Because if I could achieve it, then I know, honestly, as cliche as it sounds, I really believe that you guys can do it too. My first tip is, if you are a person that has digestion problems, sis, you're gonna have to get that taken care of. I'm going to make another video on my digestion story, and it's going to include tips and suggestions that I have if you are a person that suffers from chronic digestion problems, whether that's IBS, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, whatever, acid reflux. Been there, done that. So I'm at a point now where it's pretty much under control, and I would love to share that with you guys. The reason why I think digestion is so important is because there were so many times during my weight loss journey where I was having severe digestion symptoms. It was crazy, but the thing was, I was getting to a point where I was like, you know what, this isn't working. My waistline is still not tight, still not toned. Maybe I'm just not meant to have a tiny waist. And I didn't even realize a lot of that was just gas, or I was constipated. You know what I mean? Like, you get so discouraged and wrapped up in that because you can look like a totally different person when you're bloated. It's so crazy. And so I got to a point where I was like, I have all these things that I want to be able to do. Like, I want to be able to wear a belly shirt. I want to be able to wear a bathing suit. But I was so afraid because every day was such a struggle with the digestion that I don't know if I'm going to be able to wear this today because I might get bloated and things like that. So making sure that you're on top of your digestion, like you're using the bathroom daily and things like that, are really going to be important. So if you're just struggling with minor things like maybe a little bit of constipation or something like that, just consider maybe making changes to your diet. Talk to your doctor, of course. You may need more fiber. You may be eating too much fiber. I had that problem too. You can overdo the fiber and then you can get backed up from that. Or maybe you're not drinking enough water. So just keep those things in mind. Okay, so my next tip is, you want to reduce your body fat percentage. I don't care how many ab workouts you do, how many crunches you do. If your body fat percentage is high, which you can see if it is based on going online, looking at charts, things like that. If you are unable to check your body fat percentage at home, you can go to your gym. I go to a gym where they do have a body fat percentage machine there. I'm not sure if a doctor's office would have one, but there's various ways that you could check your body fat. And then, like I said, there's charts online that you can use to determine, you know, if you're high or low on the scale. So if your body fat percentage is high, you are not going to likely see that waistline that you're looking for. So in order to reduce your body fat percentage, I would say cardio is very important. It doesn't have to be just walking on the treadmill for hours a week. It could be HIIT cardio, the Stairmaster, anything. Just make sure you're doing cardio. And lifting, of course. So your routines should incorporate lifting and cardio. When I first started, I was doing a ton of cardio. And as I got a lot closer to my goal, I started to jump back, because when I was in between, like let's say when I was in the middle of my weight loss journey, I was still doing a lot of cardio because that was what I was used to. But I noticed that for my body type, at least, if I overdo the cardio, I'll start to look flat and I'll not look as tight and toned. So that's where the lifting became more of like 70 to 80% of the workout, and then cardio was like 20 to 30%. So if you have a ton of weight to lose, I would say, and I shouldn't say a ton of weight, like let's say you're in the beginning of your weight loss journey and you're trying to lose like, I don't know, 40 to 50 pounds or more than that maybe, I would say cardio in the beginning is going to be important, and you're going to see a big change just from doing a lot of cardio, because it's so early on, your body's going to respond to whatever you do. But lifting, you can do lifting, but I know that if you do a lot of lifting and little cardio and you have a lot of body fat, you're going to start developing muscle under the body fat much quicker than it's coming than the body. You're going to develop muscle under the body fat, and then you're going to look bulky. You know what I mean? Like you want to develop the muscle, but you also want to burn the fat. So you don't want to start building muscle quicker than you're burning fat and then look like even worse. I hope that makes sense. So I'm also going to definitely put out a video on how to construct a workout routine. Also, a big thing with losing body fat is to track your calories. So I use a calorie counter it's an app on my phone. It's called LifeSum, and it tracks your macros and your calories. You put in all your information and what your goals are, and it gives you a set amount of calories to eat, and then it also has a set amount of macros to eat. So I really love this app because instead of telling you just how much something is, it will kind of like do a countdown. So let's say you ate, I don't know, a cup of rice, and that was like 50 carbs, and your goal carbs is 200, then it'll tell you you have 150 more carbs to eat. And I think that is more, it's better to you. I think it's kind of better to use. I guess it really doesn't make a big difference, but for me, it gives me better perspective on what the rest of my day looks like. Like, okay, sis, you only got this set amount of carbs left. You still have to make up your protein and your fats. So keep that in mind with whatever else you eat during the day, especially if I'm eating out at night. Like if I'm going out or something, then those are things that I can kind of use to keep me on track. So the reason why I think counting calories is so important, especially in the beginning, that's the thing. Now that I'm more so, like I said, I'm 45 pounds down, I'm more focused on shredding. So my goals are much different than they were when I first started. I'm not really tracking calories. I'm being mindful of what I'm eating, but I'm not tracking them. But when I was tracking them, when I was still like not comfortable with my waist size, it made a huge change. And it gets to a point where eating healthy is not enough, especially if you have a problem with overeating. And sometimes we overeat and we don't even realize it. So when I first started tracking my calories and I was eating 1,600 calories a day, I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm almost out of calories. And it gave me such perspective on how much I was really eating before. So, and it also teaches you how to eat more intelligently, right? Because if you're eating something like, let's say, a candy bar that's not gonna fill you up, but it has 250 calories, that's a lot. You're not really getting any energy from that. It's just something you enjoy for the moment, but you're still going to eat soon after that because it's not going to fill you up. And you just wasted all these calories. So I think tracking calories really just overall is helpful. And then once you get to a place where you're comfortable with tracking the calories and you see the progression, you'll probably get to a point where you really don't have to track, because you kind of can go like, I kind of know when I'm overdoing it and when I'm not. And you learn not to waste calories, or I think they call that empty calories, like something that doesn't fill you up but it's excessive amount of calories. You refrain from doing those types of things because you know that it's just going to prevent you from making progress. Now, I know one of your big questions are, well, how long is this going to take? I need to get snatched by the summertime, right? So the answer to that is nobody knows, okay? My weight loss journey started in the beginning of 2018, and it's about to be 2020. So I thought when I first started, oh, in about 6 months, I'll be good, right? But it wasn't like that for me, unfortunately. It took some time. It took a while. And especially if you're coming from the same history as me, like you've never really had a certain body type that you're going for, your body is kind of adjusting with you. Like, okay, where are we going here? It's not like you really, like I didn't have muscle memory and things like that. All the muscle that I've built up until this point is like new for me. So you have to just be patient, enjoy the process, take your progress pics, take your measurements. If your waistline is shrinking, you know you're doing your thing. When I first started, my waistline was a 33 inch, and now I'm at, I'll say 25. But when I'm on a good day where there's like, I haven't eaten yet or like fasted, and you know, I had a bowel movement, I'm like a 24 and a half. So that's a big change, right? Like from 33 to 25, that's crazy. And it took a while, but I just started to see it moving along just day by day, you know, getting better. And I remember when I got to 29 inches, it felt like I was never going to get past that. Like I thought that was it for me. And then it just kept coming, you know? So just don't give up. Keep trying. It's going to be difficult, but once you are where you want to be, it's just like, such a relief. Like sometimes I'll even get emotional because it was so difficult for me, especially because I was struggling with my digestion problems. Like it wasn't just annoying, it was painful. I would get such bad heartburn. I would get stomach pains. It was just crazy. But the whole time I just kept going. I'm like, I want this body, I want this weight off, you know? And if you keep working hard, then there's nothing else for your body to do but respond, you know what I mean, at some point. So if you hit a plateau, change up your routine a little bit, change up your eating habits a little bit. So with losing body fat, right? Genetics plays a huge role. So for me, I noticed that when I first started, weight started to come off my face and my neck a lot. Then it kind of moved to my limbs, like my arms and my legs started to slim down. There was some body fat off of my waistline as well, but I felt like that was the last thing to come off. And I even hit this awkward stage where I felt like my limbs were so thin and my waistline was still wide, and I really was like I was so upset by that. But it was a really short stage. So if that happens to you, just keep pushing, sis. just don't let it discourage you. It really won't be for that long. It's just a little awkward phase. And I think a lot of people expect as they lose weight, it's going to go from, it's just going to get, it kind of like it can't get any worse, right? And it's not to say I got worse. It was just not what I was expecting. I was expecting to just go like, like, okay, bam, over time, just better and better, looking at more amazing. And it was more like a science project for me. Like, okay, I got this, now I need that, now I need this. And I'll definitely share with you guys some of the mistakes that I made along the way as well. But like I said, you just have to be patient. Okay, so you guys probably want to know, how often should I train abs? I would say training abs 3 times a week is enough. A lot of people think you need to train abs every day, twice a week. I think 3 times a week is enough. That's about what I do. And I've seen great results. And I only train abs for about 15 minutes. I'll do like an ab circuit, and I will probably make a video on that. If that's something you guys are interested in seeing, I will definitely post that. So just let me know. Lastly, I would like to end with my opinion on waist training. So I do have 2 waist trainers. They're both too big for me now anyway, so I wouldn't use them even if I wanted to. But I don't want to say I dislike waist trainers, but I feel that sometimes they can be counterproductive. So when I first started, I did wear a waist trainer, and I would say some of the pros to wearing a waist trainer at the gym is you feel more confident. So if you're a person that feels self-conscious at the gym, you're like, oh my gosh, people are looking at me, my body doesn't look good, which I hope you're not thinking that, because honestly, everybody at the gym is there for a reason, whether that's to lose weight, maintain, gain muscle, whatever. So if you're at the gym, that's a good thing. Most likely, no one's thinking negatively of you. Even if you don't look your best and you're there working hard, and the next person looks amazing in your opinion, trust me, they're looking at you like, okay, that's what's up. Sis is here getting it in. They're not saying, oh, look at her over there. The only time I think people think down on people at the gym is if they come off arrogant, like they're trying to get attention, or if they're doing something ridiculous and it's kind of like, ooh, something like that. But for me, waist training at the gym in the beginning gave me a little bit more confidence, because I just felt self-conscious about having a gut or whatever. So if you're a person like that, I think that's a benefit to wearing it. Also, I think waist training helps you maintain good posture. And that's important when you are doing certain workouts, right? Like if you're doing something that requires, your chest up, then the waist trainer will, kind of remind you to keep your back flat when you're doing certain workouts. And that's important. Even for safety reasons, that's important. So when I was doing squats and things like that, I would wear a waist trainer or deadlifts, and I think that was helpful. Now, the downfall to waist trainers, in my opinion, is I'm only assuming that you guys are going for a tight waist. Something where your skin is not, even if your waist is flat or you don't have a lot of belly fat, you don't want your skin to look like saggy or something like that. And I feel like the waist trainer for me, and I don't even have a latex allergy per se, but the latex in the waist trainers that I have definitely irritates my skin if I wear them too often, whether that's for too long in the day or for too many days out the week. My skin will get itchy. Even when I'm not wearing it, my skin will be irritated. So that's a downfall. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed that some waist trainers, they will leave indentations in your skin, like your waist will have all these marks and stuff from the wires and everything, and that's not cute. Like, what the heck? And also, I feel that it prevents you from really engaging your core, because the waist trainer is supporting your waist. It prevents you from really um engaging those core muscles. So let's say you do squats or something, right? Or deadlifts. You have to use your core to really be able to push heavy weight. So if you're wearing a waist trainer, that's kind of taking from you really engaging those muscles, because it's supporting you in that area. And I think that's counterproductive. So especially if you're pretty far in your weight loss journey, and now you're just trying to tone up, ditch the waist trainer. Just go right in and, you know, really work that area out. You don't want to become dependent on the waist trainer. I don't really see that many women. I know you guys see different things on Instagram, like people with tiny waists that say that they wear waist trainers, but in person, I would say almost all of the women at my gym wear waist trainers, and the ones that don't really have the ideal physique that I'm thinking you guys are going for, and the ones that don't do, you know what I mean? So the ones that don't wear the waist trainers, they look great. So just keep that in mind. And then they can be very expensive, especially if you want to get a high quality one. I just really don't think it's necessary. Just go in there, work your butt off, sweat, eat healthy. That's it. You don't need all this different equipment and the sweatbands and all that. I mean, they're okay, but I've been there, done that, and honestly, I can't sit here and come to you guys and say, oh, go buy this, go buy that. No, it really wasn't necessary. Once I stopped using all that stuff, honestly, that's when the weight started coming off, and I put everything into my workouts. Anybody at my gym could vouch for that I work really hard when I'm at the gym. I sweat my butt off. I'm not in there taking pictures. When I post pictures on my Instagram at the gym, those are always post-workout. Like, I just finished my hour-and-a-half workout, and now I'm taking pictures because I'm about to go home. I'm not in there on my phone texting. I don't care who calls me. If I'm at the gym, I'll call you when I'm done. Like, honestly, unless it's a dire emergency, which that hasn't happened, thankfully, but I'm, dedicated. And that's how you guys have to be. If this is something you really, really want, then you have to, it's a lifestyle. You know what I mean? Because even if you get to the point where you're happy with your weight or your appearance, you can't just stop there, right? You have to continue. I mean, you can probably become more laxed with, instead of going 5 times, 6 times a week, maybe you're going 3 or 4, but you still have to work at it. It's not like you can just get there and stop. So that's all I have to say. I hadn't talked you guys' ears off enough. I hope that this video was helpful. Like I said, I'm going to continue to post more content. If there's anything you guys are interested in seeing, please let me know. Feel free to DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. I will be more than happy to help you. So I will see you guys in the next video.